Hey guys, this is Jessica Sterling. I'm a freelance photographer based here in Los Angeles for the last 10 years, and I wanted to share some of my most successful actions about how to make happy clients or customers, if that's what you call the people that you work for. So hello. I guess, some of the things that I think are most important. I have my little notes right here. The customer is always right. But what does that mean? For me, that translates, that translates to asking a lot of questions. When somebody says that they need something, I try to find out immediately. They call me up and they say, hey, we need you to do some portraits. And I say, okay, what type of portraits are you thinking of? What do you have in mind? And they tell me, oh, they're for my business. And I say, great, how will the pictures be used? Well, they're going to be used online. Cool. Are they going to be used in any ads or magazines or anything? Oh yeah, we also want to use it in this magazine ad that we're doing. Oh, great. How long do you want to use them for? What do you have in mind? Do you have any kind of concept as far as what sort of pictures you'd like to have me make for you? So sometimes people, words fail them. They're not maybe a professional photographer like I am, so when they go to describe something, they may not use the same terminology that I would use when I'm talking about a photo. So sometimes clients say, hey, I would like something bright, and I think bright, that means a lot of light. That means I start thinking, okay, good, I need to make sure that there's either a lot of natural light or that I need X number of lights to bring with me. That the colors are colorful. What are people going to be wearing? I start to think really concrete terms, but maybe they think bright means smiling, happy, like the chick in the photo is smiling and looking happy. So if I don't ask a lot of questions and I actually don't know what they're saying, that's one thing. But, to be honest, a lot of it has to do with showing them sample images. Do you have any ideas of what you would like to, do you have any sample ideas, things that you kind of like to skew this shoot toward, ideas maybe anything you've seen that you'd like to base it off of? Sometimes they've seen pictures on my website. They say, well, I really like something like that for myself. And I say, okay, cool. And I even try to ask them, what about that do you like? What about that appeals to you? Are these going to be used on Instagram? So I start thinking with that. So they're going to be square, Facebook too, those kind of questions. Hey, Gavin. Hey, Larry. Hey, Louise. Hey, Melissa. So basically, I ask a lot of questions my clients when I first start talking to them. And then I start getting into the visual reference concept realm, okay, so sample images. Have you seen anything that you like? Okay, let's share it with me and let's talk about it. Or, sometimes maybe a client needs me to provide some imagery. And I say, hey, this is kind of what I was thinking of for your project. Here's a picture of a woman and she's smiling and she's on the beach, because I thought shooting on the beach would really help communicate what it is that you're trying to express, maybe. Or, just a simple white background in black and white, which is something I love to shoot. Maybe that's something that would express what it is that you're trying to communicate to your customers. So sample imagery, I think, is super important, and it helps you and your client kind of get on the same page. So that way you are communicating the same language and you can deliver exactly what they're needing and wanting. Because otherwise you really have no idea. When I'm doing a job, oftentimes if it's a big job and I have a lot of shots that I need to do, I'll do a timeline, like a breakdown of each shot, where it is, the location, what's involved, and then for myself, the lighting setup, if my assistant needs to be doing something in particular, those types of things. And then I have reference imagery right there next to it to say, okay, here's this picture. We're going to do a picture of a woman here. She's going to be standing in front of, I don't know, a coffee bar or something. She's going to be standing in front of the coffee bar, kind of like this, with the coffee. And I try to nail it down so it's super specific so that my clients, they can see it and then they go, oh no, I wasn't thinking that at all. I have no use for a picture like that at all. And I've had that happen. When I deliver a kind of some sample images, they start to look at it and they start to think about, well, what do I really need? So I think that's the first thing. that I always try to do. Ask a lot of questions and do samples, and show them specifically what it is that I'm imagining for them, because I want to be as creative as I possibly can for them and deliver the most awesome pictures. And I want them to get pictures that they're actually going to love and that they're going to share and that they're going to use, then that they're so happy with that they tell all their friends. Hey, Christopher, what's going on? Mitchell, hey, Bruce, Lightfield, what's going on? So those are some of the things that I do first. Okay, so then the other thing that I wanted to talk about is attitude. So some people, like freelancers and business owners and people I've talked to, they kind of complain about their customers and clients, and they say like, oh, I love what I do. I love being creative, but my customers, my clients, they just, and look, I understand that if you've had somebody who maybe wasn't super nice to work with, or maybe kind of didn't get your creative vision. I totally dig that. But the thing is like when you're working for somebody and they're hiring you, I feel like, you want to give them whatever it is that they need and want. Like if I go to the store and if I walked into a store with a blindfold on and I said, I would like a dress, and then I'm imagining like a blue evening ball gown thing, like Cinderella style. And they hand me a bag and I walk out and I open it up and I look at it and it's like, like a mini skirt out of like Purple Rain, like ruffles and stuff. I would be kind of PO'd, right? Because I'm like, dude, this is I just paid you all this money and this wasn't what I was thinking at all. So hey Spencer. So I feel like hey Bruce, thanks for sharing. That's so cool. So you have to kind of, I forget what the heck I was about to say, but it was awesome. So basically, you have to kind of communicate to them what it is that you're going to do so that they know what you're going to do. And if I had, I know what it was. If I have me as a customer, if I have an experience that doesn't really make any sense for what it is that I am asking for, it's kind of frustrating, especially if you've already paid somebody some money for this, and you can't redo something. So it's best to, like I said, ask a lot of questions so you're on the same page. And also, what the heck it is that I'm driving at? I know it is. People they get frustrated with their clients, fine, whatever. But the thing is like when you look at it from reverse, you want to be satisfied as a customer. And I personally want my customers to be super happy. So I think complaining about your clients and whatnot is kind of dumb, because it's your fault if you're not on the same page as them, because it's your job and it's up to you to ask a lot of questions and make sure that you're really communicating. Some people are kind of like, they just want things to go wrong and they're crabby or whatever. But most people, they're just like, if they're planning an event, they got so many things that they're dealing with. They got the vendors, the venue, their boss, the money, all that kind of stuff, and they just want it to be a smooth experience and they get exactly what it is that they're imagining. So you just do that. Dallas, what is going on? Mufasa, hey Eric. So you can't complain if your clients and customers aren't on the same page as you, if you don't make sure that they are. So one thing about that too is if a customer comes up to you or a client and says, I want blah, and you go, oh no, dude, I don't think blah, blah, blah. And some people do that. Their first reaction is they think about what it is that they have to do. Hey Martina, hey Eric. They think about what it is that they have to do to make that happen, and they know how much work it is. So they just kind of start to go, oh man, now I gotta redo the whole thing or refigure out how I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna take me 10 hours and la 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 la. And it's kind of like, nah, the first thing you should do is say yes, absolutely, because the person who's hiring you has enough stress. Business has enough going on than to deal with your whatever. So I always try to say, absolutely, I'm on the same page as you. I am this, we're on the team together, you and me, buddy. I totally want to do this for you. And then if I know that it's going to be like totally hard, or maybe it's going to take 10 hours or a lot more time or more, equipment or expenditure or whatever resources, then I might say, yeah, but you know what? It's gonna, I don't know if you know this, but it's probably going to take me about 10 more hours to deliver what it is that you're asking for, and I'm totally happy to do it. But, you know, as it is, you know, kind of over and above what it is that we've already agreed with this contract and this estimate, and, you know, that I'm going to have to charge you a little bit more. And because they aren't a professional, whatever it is, like I'm a professional freelance photographer, they're not a professional freelance photographer. Hey, Alyssa, hey, you know, they might not know that it's going to take you 10 hours more to do what it is that they're asking. So sometimes they say, oh, okay, actually, I don't really need that. So it kind of, if you can communicate with them in a positive way, then they understand like where you're coming from and the expenditure of energy and whatever. And it kind of balances out what they really, really need and what they kind of like think they might want and need, you know, because they don't have all the information, all the data to decide. So those are two things that I think are super important. You know, A, asking a lot of questions about your clients, what they want, showing them sample imagery so that you're on a visual, same page as them. And then also, hey, thanks, Alyssa. And then also kind of coming across to your clients and communicating with them in a positive way. So that way they kind of, you know, like you're on the same team. You don't need to fight with them. You want them to be happy. You want them to hire you again. You know, it's super fun for me to have clients that keep coming back again and again and again, year after year, because then you develop an even stronger working relationship and you really get what it is that they need and want even more. You know, and sometimes you don't have to communicate so much because, you know, they say, oh, we really need, and I go, you want the pictures the same day, don't you? And they're like, yes, you know, because we need them for social media or whatever. And I say, that's great because I've already planned to do that for you, you know, or whatever. So, oh, I know what it is too, is, you know, if, let's say your contract says that you're only going to deliver X, you know, and then there's like, they kind of want a little bit more than that. You know, it depends on, you know, your relationship with them and what's fair. I like to deliver over and above the expectations, right? I mean, I love it when you go somewhere, like if you go to Disneyland and they, you know, if they had like a party for me when I walked in with balloons and stuff, I would be extra happy. So I think, you know, with my clients, I want them to get great shots that they love, and anything I can do over and above with my attitude, you know, the smoothness of the service, the easiness of billing, the clarity of billing and invoices or receipts, things like that, just all smooth and easy so it's less hassle. Anyway, so hopefully that's interesting to you guys. If you like this video, share it with your friends, and I hope you guys have an awesome weekend and spend it doing things that you love. Bye.